gonna go ahead and refresh some of my tabs, my trading view tab. There we go. I can see the stream. I can hear myself. Thank you all for tuning in. Just gonna do one more announcement in Discord, everyone. Stream is live. Send it. Alright, not seeing a whole lot of participation right now. Gonna wait a second. Alright, looks like our YouTube stream's up and running. We had problems with that on Monday. Also, I had somebody bring up my audio. They said audio wasn't clear. I needed to speak up or something. So let me know if audio is really like having issues so I can really tackle it if it was just that one person. In today's chart mastery, I'm going to cover BTC. I'm going to cover Ether. I'm going to cover some of the plays we have going, some charts that I think are poised to make a bigger move. Also going to cover indices, the S&P, the QQQ. I'm going to cover some stocks. And I'm also going to take any chart requests that you guys and gals, however you identify, it's 2022, have, right? And yeah, let's dive in, right? So looking at BTC, it's basically still stuck within that same range that it's been stuck in for the last week, right? Week plus. It is retesting this previous trend line that I had highlighted, and now we might be seeing something like this, like another wedgie consolidation. You guys can't see. We might be seeing another something like what we saw previously this year, right? Like these consolidations. The problem is, there's not really a problem. It's kind of a problem, right? So here we did have a fib level supporting it, right? Here we did have fib level supporting, right? Now, ironically, what I'm seeing now is we're below the fib level that I ideally want to see be support. All right, so we're stuck below 46,964, and the next level down is 44,155. So ideally, I hate to say this, we should see a test here, and if we see this, this is my long zone. This was my long zone. This has been my long zone. I don't like buying in the middle of a range or in the middle of a consolidation. I like buying liquidity below it, and unfortunately, I don't see anything that says long now. Now, if we get a break above 46,964 and a retest of it, right? So if the chart does something like this, then I'd be willing to long this pullback, right? But until then, I'm not trading BTC. It's just been stuck. There's a lot of charts that have like done really good moves, right? And there's no reason to like beat myself up over a trade on this chart, especially on leverage. It doesn't make sense to me, right? Risk reward is not there. Now, is there something that I'm missing? I don't think so. I think I fibbed this pretty like conclusively. Over and over, unless there's like a 786 that I don't see. There is a 786, so we might be seeing the 786 hold, but we'll see. I'm not too hungry for an entry here, not just yet. And this kind of makes sense. If you know, there's a lot of lines on my chart right now, but so I'm gonna go to like a BTC chart that I don't have anything drawn on, right? Or I'm willing to get rid of the lines. So if you look at these previous swings, right, here we had a 50% continuation, right, and it definitely held up, right, like fibs do the talking. So, and then if we go from, if we do a breakout retest fib from here up, we're below 61.8, 76 is here. But if you do that continuation, the last swing low type move, then we're seeing a 786 hold, which can potentially, you know, it can go back up. But I'm going to stick to the other chart. I don't like longing in ranges, right? I do believe liquidity happens below and above ranges. This is what kind of, this was a bull trap, right? It was a liquidity grab and then bam, like liquidity move happened. Small one, minor one, but that's what I see. All right. So I could be wrong about 44 touch-in, but also could be right. So I'm just waiting. That's all I have for BTC, right? That's all I have for BTC right now. This last move down, where we stopped rejected here, was a continuation of this impulse, this breakout, right? So if I fib this properly, right, we did have a 61.8 short entry, up here. And so the last move down was a bearish continuation. So we'll see what happens. And this needs to flip before going to new highs. Ironically, if I pull up my moving averages, there's two of them that I really like in a bull market to buy the pullback, right? And we're just going to look at this red line for now and see how it's reacted previously, right? We tend to not want to see these closes below. Then we can get into like pre-COVID era, before COVID crash, right? But what I'm trying to say here is historically, this moving average, like we want to see it support, right? We want to see it act as support. The last time we saw it become resistance, we saw this move, so we could see something like this developing for another up move and then down. But last time we saw it like act as resistance was here, going into the bear market, right? I don't want to see it become resistance. And if we do something like this, now the other one, go to the 2-day, right? We definitely don't want to see that happen, because like the previous market bottom was my white line, right? My white MA over here. The previous market bottom was also there, and then during COVID, I was really surprised to see price action below it, and we started getting the closes above, right? I said, hey, like this is gonna go back up, so I don't want to see that. And I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but just remaining objective, that's what we can see. All right, let's look at Ether. I still think it's untradeable, right? Support, longing support is good. So if you get a support break, that's good. If you get a wedge breakout and a retest, that's also good. It's still consolidating. It's still in that same wedge formation. We could see it run up. It's getting closer to resistance, so you could see an Ether move. We are seeing alts. We're seeing alts take the lead. If you just joined the stream, I covered BTC. Usually I do BTC, then Ether, then a couple of alts, and then stocks, and indices. Litecoin isn't anything extravagant. Let's look at one of the trades that I have open is Algo. Right. This chart has been good, right? It's been good to us. We longed this 61.8. I signaled it at 1.435. And it's up, right? Still 24%. Just kind of letting it do its thing right now. Not really too eager to play with it, right? We're above the 61.8, so we do want to see continuation. I think the next levels here are going to be like 2.1, right? Sorry, 2.2, and that's a possible resistance. And then there's the $2. So between $2 and $2.20, I'm looking for like some resistance, and if it keeps going, I think sky's the limit. Luna today looked like it's at a good re-entry level, right? According to what I've seen, it looks like it's trying to hold. Actually, it's below. Let's do another fib here, small one. 786 is holding, right? So we kind of want to see it creep back up above 88 for another up move. My biggest spot holding, Raven. I'm gonna get some flag for this one. All right, getting DMs during the live stream. Let's not do that. Oh, it's Mark. All right. So we got the triangle breakout. We got the halving in like 6 days. We got a little bit of a retest here. I want to see 133 taken out. So 13 cents needs to be taken out by bulls. And there's 0.138. That's the next resistance on here. So once we clear the zone, ideally we can run up to like 19 cents, right? That's what I'd like to see. Morning, Matthew. And then I think the next resistance is going to be 19 cents, but we definitely need to clear this 13 cent zone, and yeah, we can go to 19 and then revisit from there. So for my leverage trade, I'm looking to start scaling out here for my spot trade, I'm not looking to scale out, not yet. All right. Let's look at indices real quick. We do have a bit of a stock market falling. The S&P is not looking bad, right? It did do like a failed breakout. I think it's just getting choppy. Stocks are being a little funky, like Apple sold off today. AMD sold off today. Pfizer's on the rebound. Are we wedging? Things like this tend to happen, right? Like every time we see S&P at resistance, right? Like we see these really strong trend lines get respected. So we see it all the time on the S&P. So I don't think it's too worrisome. The QQQ is not looking the sexiest, right? Which I did signal along on Monday, and it's underwater, right? And I need to figure that out. You know, I had to stop and I didn't trigger it, so it's on me. So we do want to see 476 hold on the S&P. Like that's going to be critical. If it starts breaking down, then we can see 472 and lower levels. Possibly, you know, the next spot I'd want to buy some calls in, if we do get a dip, is going to be like 465, 462, and then maybe support, and I'd want to trade them back to the upside. Let's look at the QQQ. We're holding. Are we holding? Not holding. All right. Let's do this. Go off this last breakout. So if 392 holds and we see support here, then I'd expect continuation. It'd be a 50% pullback of this move since this like down wick. That would be ideal. If not, like 389 down to 388 would be like last resort. Like get the F out. Right? Or long it, right? Like, I mean, if we're in the long here and it breaks below 388, that's not good. But if we bounce off 388 on good volume, then it's a sender. Let's see if I'm missing something. Ooh, let's do what? Let's just play with Harmonics, right? I haven't pulled out the scanner in a while. Let's see what the Harmonic Scanner says on the QQQ. Okay, well, we had Phantom on first. So Phantom's seeing support at, if I do QQQ, we're getting close to our support here, support at 388. So Phantom's agreeing with me. If we turn Phantom off and go back to NQ because we have better price action, better wicks, and turn on the scanner, what do we see? Right, so there's a short entry here. It's saying there's a bullish wolf possibly on the hourly with a stop at 16.99. I'm not a fan of it. Let's do a 30-minute, 120. So if you guys are using the scanner, you want to like scan several time frames, right? You want to start on like the hourly, work your way to your 6 hour. You're basically scanning different time frames for different formations. And usually when something's like this close to where the pivot's supposed to be, then it's probably not going to happen, right? So I wouldn't call these super valid. Back to the ES. Let's do the same thing. 30, 120, 5. Give us something. I'm not saying anything super tradable like this. This was a decent entry for like a intraday scalp, but I don't do that. All right. All right. Now I'm ready for you guys' tickers. Show me some tickers, whether it's stocks, whether it's crypto, whether it's Forex, metals. Hit me with some good stuff. I'm going to look at Ford, right? We do have, man, we're still ripping. Ford's still flying. We're sitting in 22 calls that expire next year. Expire a year from now, January 2023. And so that target on those $22 calls was 25. We want to see what happens here. All right, that's going to be our next resistance. And if you keep going, then we can see 28, 29, 30, and so forth. But I'm not flipping short on Ford. I think it's been undervalued for some time. I'd like to see continuation. But really important, you know, we're above that 61.8, which is this red line, right? You guys see that? I'm going to just highlight it with a brush tool, right? This line right here. At 23.36, that's our 61.8. Next resistance 25.21. If we break above and keep going and just keep sending. All right. That covers Ford. Let's look at Apple. You guys, show me some tickers. Don't be shy. Jeez, what do I do with this chart? So many lines. Let's do the weekly. 18, 19. It's tricky, right? As this thing's been mooning, it's basically absorbed all the market cap of the entire stock market. Apple is crazy. Let's just wanna see which range extension is giving us the best pivots. This one gives us decent pivots, right? Close to, not enough. So, I mean, if this thing keeps flying, we can see potentially 269. I think that's a stretch, though. 2012. That's 2012. Where's COVID? This is a weekly chart. 18. This is COVID crash. Right. So here we see like how these price reacted at $80, right? I mean, it was before 80, and we see how like 104 is support, right? We see resistance. We see support right slightly above, and we see support here. So that kind of validates this fib layout. I wanna analyze the extensions off here of COVID. So yeah, we're running in resistance at 177, right? And we're currently above. So if the weekly can stay above and push up, then we're going to see a bigger run up. So I wouldn't flip bearish on the stock market just yet. I did write a paper about what I see in the stock market. You guys, I love all the shills. Thank you for hitting me with some tickers. I'll look at them. Let's look at like ICP USD. Whoa. I tend to stay away from charts like this, personally. Yeah, I tend to stay away. I mean, it could be like 24 holding was good, 37 resistance is bad, right? So in terms of bearish, where would I have shorted this? I think this has possibly gone up to 43, possibly. Needs to get above 39. So like, okay, this is what I see, right? Instead of just me saying like, oh, this is the next pivot, right? So if we extend this swing high to the swing low to get bearish extensions, right? And we see 24.38. And we see it hold the support, and now price went up, right? And it's rejecting at 37. Okay, now that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is, what about the swing? This new breakout, right? So there was a trend line, right? A range, and right before the range, there was a breakout here. So there's two ways to fib this. The smallest swing, I call these fib minor, is 36, right? So it kind of matches up with the previous one, and then the higher one would be like 43. But until it clears the previous bearish extension that I drew, until it clears the bearish extension that I drew, I wouldn't trade it. Why does this keep happening? Oh, I'm doing like Alt D. Sorry, guys. So until, and even if we go off this swing, right? So where are we? Here we go. BB44X, I did play Baba, and it's looking decent. Good chart. I think like on this other chart, I still have the exact same drawings from last time. Yeah, look at that, right? So BB44X came in last stream, was like, hey, what do you think of Baba? So like I did made like the entire existence of Baba on the US stock market, right? The swing low, the swing high, and we had a 786 retracement, And then we had a 1.414 bearish extension hold. So I said, hey, let's trade it to the upside and see what happens. And we did come up with like 150 as the next target. So there's that. All right, let's look at Dash USD. It's looking like a good value. Yeah, let's check out Dash USD. I know, man, like a couple of years ago, a lot of these Anon coins, right? The privacy coins, priv coins went like borderline illegal, right? Like they were banned from several countries, several exchanges. So I feel like volume's dried up since. What exchange am I looking at on right now? Coinbase. Interesting. So ideally we want to see 129 hold, right? Anything below that, and it's not going to be very, very sexy for bulls. And I was actually like, let me show you guys something, man. I tried to signal link at the bottom, but like it wicked us out. If anybody retried it, good for you, right? Let me show you guys something. Don't be scared of these pennants. Don't be scared of long in a triangle support, right? What I see on link, right? I mean, it's not the sexiest pennant, right? And the sexiest symmetrical triangle. And if we look at like Raven, and these are like daily charts, right? I'm seeing some triangles, right? I'm seeing symmetrical triangles in a few places, right? And they're only doing, or so far, they've only done like basically 2 touches of support. Like here we see 1 touch of support, 1 touch of support, and here we see 1 touch of support, 1 touch of support. So looking at something like Dash, is it going to start raging? Not DoorDash, Dash USD. We see, I don't know if we see 2 touches. I think we see more, or maybe a support break. Kind of seeing a support break, right? Until it's not. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. Yeah, so realistically, okay, you want to chart your long-term charts on log. You just do. Like, if you pick up the CMT level 1 handbook, right? Literally any move bigger than 20% is supposed to be traded on log. It's supposed to be charted on log. And yeah, so I definitely recommend, if you're not using log, I definitely recommend using a log scale. And to like further add what can happen at Dash, I think we could come down to $100. Sand USD. I know some of the guys in our Discord were trading it. We're trading sand. I speak Arabic, but I'm not from the desert, so. Oh, look at that. That looks good, man. That looks like I'd want to play with it around like 5.2, 5.27. I like that. I'm not going to say I love it, but I like this chart. Just going to clean it up. If you guys are wondering like how I fib, like how to use the fib tool like I did do a live workshop. And it's recorded, and if you guys want the recording of it, it's available. It's on our website, like coinobservatory.com. You scroll down, and smack in the middle is going to be a thing saying watch the workshop. So you guys can learn these methods. Okay, so looking at sand, it did reject the 61.8, all right, which is 6.8363. That was that's where you want to short an asset, right? And I teach this in the workshop. Now, ideally, we want to see 511 retest, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alert for 511. If we get some good volume there, I'm going to long it. Okay. Near USD, guys, I'm loving all the engagement. Thank you so much for all your chart shows. Whoa, this looks good, man. This is a good looking chart. So, I mean, you see it, right? Like if you see it, I think I have to be more clear. 17.445 is currently resistance. Next target is 23. Huntsman, thanks for the rec. Long term, there is a chance that most of the coins don't exist anymore in a few years. I mean, there's a big chance of that. Navima, they don't have to not exist, but I was looking at things like Verge, right? And it's at 38 freaking sats, man. It could have gone down to 0, right? And some coins get delisted, right? That just happens. Did I miss any suggestions or requests? I did not miss any requests. You guys, if you don't have any more charts for me, I am going to call the stream. Actually, I'll look behind me real quick, see if I pick up anything off my charts. I did tweet about Link before it dumped, when it was staging up, right? So I think the next target on Link, if you guys are in the Link trade, or in a Link trade, a leverage trade, I would pay attention closely to we're at 27 now, so I think 29.9, 30.1 possible resistance, right? We saw the same thing. I signaled that short on stream at 37 because it just wicked right off that red line and dumped, right? So we want to pay attention to 30, okay? And yeah, and if it shoots straight through 30, then I would definitely expect a bigger breakout at play, and I don't know if we're gonna see that, but then I'd expect 64. What else? Anything else I want to cover? I think that's all I got for today. Abu Zarqa. I did cover BTC. I usually start with BTC, so please rewind the stream and you can watch it. I did cover BTC. I always do. I always start with it. I don't like to cover things more than once. It sounds like I'm repeating myself. And my ex-girlfriend told me I repeat myself all the time, so I'm still traumatized. That was a joke, but it's also true. Okay, I don't like repeating myself. I don't like checking out charts more often than once. What's going on here with these closes? It kind of broke out. Okay, something like this, I would really pay attention to what happened at the swing low and what's happening now. Okay, so something like this, right on that previous swing low, on this bottom, you're gonna call it bottom, right? This bottom move, it went from 9 to 1.3 in terms of price, right? 9 cents to 94 cents, 1.3. Now, pulled back to 786. Nice, sexy doji. It got sent. Okay, so. What about now? What's going on? Are we seeing continuation? So in terms of the larger swing, right, it's below the 61.8, which is the red line. So ideally, we want to see it come back down to 1.08, do some kind of another sexy doji for a turn. That's what I'd like to see. In terms of where the exit was this a bearish 61.8 to the T, right? It went up to that red line and dumped. Alternatively, what's happening on this last break, right? So on a move like this, I'd like to think that the market left this as a sign for us, right? So that's going to be our 61.8. That's our pin for the fib, so it's below 1.5. I wouldn't long it here. If somebody's in a position, whatever. 1.08 is a good entry, I think. SOL. Solana. Man, I had so many people asking, thinking it's gonna keep going up, and I'm I've been out of this. for a while. All right. Bam. Okay, next person that tells you fibs don't work, just don't ever listen to them ever again, right? Like, don't take their trading, their charts seriously. 238 smack, smack resistance here. Again, it's butt kicked back down a little bit. I mean, this could turn any time, right? It's been really hyped up. Did we have a bearish 61.8? We almost did over here, right? So it was a 50. We did see a few charts do that, like BTC did that on the initial break. At this point, I would do something like needs to hold right here, 169, 170 needs to hold for a continuation. If not, then we can see some further exploration down below, right? Some price discovery. This thing is not consolidated since it came out. Now, what about continuation fibs? Yeah, it's not looking the sexiest. I think it's ready to take a break. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. DOT, USD, Polkadot. Man, where were you guys during these sell-offs? We should have been longing these, right? We should have longed here, like 25. Sorry, again, kind of ahead of myself. All right, so I see two things. If we break above 30, I would give it room to run, right? If we don't break above 30, I would expect retest to 25. I think if we break above 30, then we go to 33 and see what happens there. This thing's doing like a bit of a broadening pattern. It's broken out and it's retested. So we could see a run of 33 here. Could see a run of 33. Yeah, this looks interesting. I'm gonna set an alert for 30.27. Add alert. Double click every time. All right, FTM. I covered FTM yesterday in one of the chats, right? I think it's way above these extensions, right? So it's definitely bubbled. Might be above all these extensions, right? And we're seeing it hold a support. Right, 2.7. I think as of yesterday, I said 2.75 should hold as support. And what about continuation targets? Right, what about continuation targets? You do something like this, nice extension, and yeah, right. So 2.75 needs to hold. 3.127.8 is resistance for now. I think it could be a choppy zone until we clear some of these resistances. So I'd expect some chop. I don't see anything like that says bearish, right? It's the uptrend's intact, but I'd expect it to chop up, and then there's like these rejection fibs of 4.1, 4.2. I think it's bullish. I just don't know if it's going to be a smooth ride up, right? All right, that's all I got. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for all your suggestions. Yeah, if you want to learn these methods, our homepage, coinobservatory.com, scroll down like Dead Center. There's going to be a workshop thing. And if you want to join Discord, find the link to Discord, ask us for a guest pass. We'll get you in. Other than that, trade safe. Enjoy these runs. Don't forget to trail your stops. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Friday. Same time, same place. Bring a friend next time.